Apple's iPads are portable, powerful, and indisputably among the best tablets money can buy, but it can be tricky to know which model to go for with so many options available. The iPad Pro is clearly the frontrunner in terms of raw power, but most people don't need to spend pro-level money to get a great iPad experience. So in this video, we'll be rounding up the best iPads for different budgets and use cases, drawing attention to their strengths and weaknesses to help you find a model that best fits your needs. The 11-inch iPad A16 is hands down the best iPad for most people in today's market. It's also the cheapest iPad available as new from Apple, and while the 2022 model is still worth buying if you can find it, the newer A16 model will get you twice as much base storage and a few extra years of software support. Other than those factors though, this is essentially the same entry-level iPad that's been knocking around for the past few years. This iPad uses a 10.9-inch liquid retina display, offers up to 10 hours of battery life, and its A16 chipset is pretty much the fastest tablet chipset you'll find at this price point. In testing, we found that the base iPad could blitz through everyday tasks like internet browsing, video calling, content streaming, and light gaming with more than enough power on offer for the majority of casual iPad users. If you've got video editing or hardcore gaming in mind, you're better off going for an Air or a Pro model, and the iPad A16 also doesn't support Apple Intelligence. So if you're particularly keen on an AI integrated tablet experience, you'll need to pay a bit more. However, as a relatively inexpensive all-rounder, the iPad A16 is an excellent choice for most people. Moving straight up to the top of the price ladder, the 13-inch iPad Pro is unquestionably the most impressive Apple tablet of the lot. If the main selling point of any iPad is its big screen, the supersized iPad Pro is not only the biggest iPad to date, but it's also the most advanced, using tandem OLED technology on an Apple XDR branded ProMotion display. The latest iPad Pro comes with an Apple M4 chipset, which is the same brain you'll find powering Apple's latest MacBooks. The M4 has a 50% faster CPU than the M2 chipset in the previous model, and you'll appreciate that bump while running demanding apps like Procreate or graphically intense mobile games. For the creatives out there, the iPad Pro can also be paired with the impressive Apple Pencil Pro stylus, as well as the redesigned Magic Keyboard, making it the best iPad for drawing and productivity. Oh, and don't worry about things getting too hot. This new model also boasts 20% better thermal performance than the previous iPad Pro, and in testing, we never once managed to overheat its internal components. In other words, the 13-inch iPad Pro M4, which also comes in a more compact 11-inch variation, is by far the most powerful tablet ever made, and it's one of the 3 iPad models to support Apple Intelligence. On the cameras front, the iPad Pro's 12-megapixel rear snapper is definitely capable, though you'll need to turn to your phone or a proper camera for any ultra-wide or telephoto shots. Of course, this is an incredibly expensive tablet, and its 4-figure price tag puts it in reserve for serious professionals who need all of that MacBook-level power. If you just want to watch movies and video chat with your friends, the iPad Pro is serious overkill. However, if you need the best of the best, this is definitely the tablet to buy. If you're a student who's looking for something in between the affordability of the base model and the power of the Pro, the iPad Air M3 is our pick of the bunch. Available in 2 sizes, 11 inches and 13 inches, the new iPad Air comes equipped with a chipset that, again, powers some of Apple's recent MacBooks. That means it's powerful enough to run any apps you might need to use as a student, and in testing, we threw pretty much everything at the iPad Air and it didn't break a sweat. Other key features of the Air include a landscape-oriented 12-megapixel front-facing camera, landscape stereo speakers with spatial audio, up to 10 hours of battery life, and up to 1 terabyte of internal storage, which is something you can't get on the base model. Like the iPad Pro, the iPad Air also supports Apple Intelligence, and in truth, the only thing you really lose by choosing the Air over the Pro is the latter's 120Hz refresh rate and larger RAM capacity. But if you're happy to live without ProMotion, then the iPad Air is a much more affordable, second best pick for students and professionals alike. The 8.3-inch iPad mini is arguably a more niche offering than Apple's other tablets, but it remains an excellent choice for those who prefer its dinky size, or indeed for children whose hands are naturally a bit smaller. The mini is also the cheapest way to access Apple Intelligence on an iPad, which is worth considering if you're keen to try Apple's AI features without breaking the bank. The main selling point of the iPad mini, though, is that it's smaller and lighter than all other Apple slates, so if you want a device that you can easily slip into your bag or your kid's bag, then this is the iPad to choose. Of course, there are cheaper, older iPads still available at third-party retailers if you're after a slate for a young child, and visually there's almost no difference between the 2024 iPad mini and its predecessor. That said, the newer model gets the same A17 Pro chipset as the iPhone 15 Pro, so it can handle gaming, streaming, and web browsing much more easily than a second-hand mini model. If you're looking to do more heavy-duty tasks, we'd recommend going for an M2 or above iPad Air or iPad Pro. But all in all, the iPad mini is a premium-looking iPad whose compatibility with Apple Intelligence will keep it feeling fresh for years to come. And there you have it, our roundup of the best iPads available at the time of recording. For full reviews of each model, head to TechRadar.com, and we'll include links to the latest iPad deals in the description below to help you find the best prices.